But I kept staring at it because looking at Vanessa's face might have made me commit a crime. She stood there in a designer black dress she'd probably bought specifically for this occasion, clutching custody papers like they were winning lottery tickets while my husband's body wasn't even cold yet. "This house belongs to his children," she screamed, spittle flying. "I'm taking it for their future." I reached into my purse, the same black leather one Ethan had given me for our anniversary, and pulled out the envelope I'd been carrying for the past 3 days. My hands didn't shake. I'd practiced this moment. Speaking of futures, here's the life insurance payout notification. $2 million to the beneficiary, me. The kids' trusts are already funded. You get nothing. The sound she made wasn't human. It was something between a shriek and a gasp, like a banshee choking on its own rage. But to understand why that moment was so sweet, you need to know how we got there. I met Ethan Fitzgerald at a coffee shop, which sounds like a romantic comedy, but was actually more like a hostage situation. His 8-year-old son, Aiden, had just projectile vomited on my laptop, and his 6-year-old daughter, Chloe, was using my research papers as napkins. "I am so sorry," Ethan had said, trying to wrangle both kids while pulling out his wallet. "Please let me pay for everything. The laptop, the papers, your dry cleaning, your therapy." I laughed despite myself. Therapy might be necessary. That was my dissertation. His face went white. Oh God. Oh no. Kids, apologize. Right now, it's okay, I said, surprising myself. I have backups, plus I study childhood psychology. This is basically field research. That's how it started. Ethan, overwhelmed single dad. Me, Iris Brooks, doctoral candidate who thought she understood children until she met his. Their mother and I divorced 2 years ago. He'd explained over coffee, his treat. Obviously, while the kids destroyed the shop's toy corner. She gets them weekends. I get them. Well, all the other time. Must be hard, I'd said, watching Chloe color outside the lines with aggressive determination. You have no idea. He'd looked at me then. Really looked at me. You're not running. Away screaming. That's new. I should have run. Everything about Ethan came with complications. The kids, who'd been traumatized by their parents' bitter divorce. The ex-wife, who treated him like an ATM with visitation rights. The exhaustion that lined his face from working 60-hour weeks to pay for 2 households. But he was also brilliant, a software engineer who'd created several successful apps. Funny, when the kids gave him 5 seconds to breathe. And underneath, all the chaos, genuinely kind. Our first date required 3 babysitters. The first to quit. It ended with him falling asleep in his pasta. Our second date was interrupted by Vanessa calling 17 times because Aiden had a fever. That mysteriously vanished when Ethan rushed over. By our third date, I understood what I was signing up for. She's going to make your life hell. Ethan warned me. Vanessa doesn't want me, but she doesn't want me happy either. He was wrong about one thing. She didn't just want him unhappy. She wanted him destroyed. Vanessa Fitzgerald was like a Pinterest board gained sentience and chose violence. Everything about her was curated, from her yoga instructor body to her Instagram perfect life. She'd left Ethan for her CrossFit coach, claiming he didn't support her journey to self-actualization. Translation: she wanted to be an influencer, and a software engineer husband didn't fit her brand. But the second Ethan started dating me, suddenly she remembered what a wonderful father he was, how important family unity was, how the children needed stability. The kids are confused. She'd text at 2 a.m. Chloe cried herself to sleep asking why daddy loves his new friend more than mommy. Aiden says you ignore him when she's around. A real woman would understand the children come first. Ethan saved every text, every email, every voicemail. His lawyer had advised him to document everything. Smart lawyer. We'd been dating 6 months when Vanessa played her first big card. She took Ethan back to court for more child support, claiming his lifestyle had improved since he was wasting money on girlfriends instead of his children. How much does she want? I'd asked, reading through the court documents. An extra $2,000 a month? Ethan said flatly, on top of the $3,000 she already gets. For what? Chloe needs ballet lessons at the exclusive studio. Aiden requires a specialized tutor, and they both need therapy to deal with the trauma of Daddy's girlfriend. He laughed bitterly. The same therapy she refused to let them have during the actual divorce. The judge thankfully saw through it. But the legal fees ate up Ethan's savings. Vanessa didn't care. Her new boyfriend, a real estate agent named Chad, because of course his name was Chad, was funding her legal crusade. That's when Ethan and I had our first real conversation about the future. I can't propose to you. He'd said one night, both kids finally asleep. Not because I don't want to, but because she'll use it against you. I finished for him. She already calls me the homewrecker to the kids. If we get married, he couldn't finish. Then we don't get married. I said simply, we just live. But living wasn't simple with Vanessa around. She had a sixth sense for our happiness and a gift for destroying it. Planning a vacation, suddenly the kids couldn't. Leave the state because of their anxiety. Moving in together? The children needed stability evaluations first. Buying a new car. Clearly, Ethan was hiding assets. The worst part was watching what it did to Aiden and Chloe. They were sweet kids, underneath the trauma, but Vanessa's manipulation was poisoning them slowly. She'd send them to our house with spy missions. Mommy wants to know if Iris sleeps in Daddy's bed. Mommy says to look for expensive things and take pictures. This is child abuse. I told Ethan after finding Aiden photographing my jewelry box. I know, he said helplessly, but proving it in court is impossible. She's too smart. Never puts anything in writing. Always has plausible deniability. We survived 2 years like that. 2 years of Vanessa's warfare. 2 years of court battles, poisoned weekends, and children used as weapons. But we also had 2 years of bedtime stories, homework help, and slowly earning the kids' trust. I like your pancakes better than Mom's, Chloe whispered one morning. But don't tell her I said that. Your secret's safe, I promised, adding extra chocolate chips. Aiden started asking me for help with his science projects instead of calling his mother. Small victories, but victories nonetheless. Than Ethan got the contract that changed everything. A tech giant wanted to buy his latest app. The number was staggering, enough to secure everyone's future, including the kids' college funds. We can finally breathe, Ethan said, spinning me around our kitchen. No more living paycheck to paycheck. No more letting Vanessa hold money over our heads. We were so naive. The acquisition went through on a Monday. By Wednesday, Vanessa's lawyer had filed an emergency motion. She wanted 50% of the sale price, claiming it was a marital asset developed during their marriage. That's insane, our lawyer said. Ethan created this app 2 years after the divorce. She's claiming he used ideas from their marriage, Ethan explained, exhausted. Says I was working on the concept while we were together. It was a lie. But proving it would take months and hundreds of thousands in legal fees. Money we'd have to spend anyway, because Vanessa knew Ethan would never risk losing. That's when Ethan made the decision that would save us all. I'm taking out life insurance, he announced after another brutal court hearing. $2 million policy. Ethan, don't talk like that. I'm not being morbid, he said firmly. I'm being practical. Vanessa is trying to destroy us. Financially, if something happens to me, you and the kids need protection. The kids already have trusts from your grandparents, which Vanessa can access as their guardian. This is different. This is for you, to fight her if necessary, too. Protect them if she tries to take everything. I was the beneficiary, not because he loved me more than his children, but because he knew I'd protect them in ways there. Mother never would. The policy was signed on a Thursday. Ethan died the following Tuesday, heart attack at 38. No warning. No goodbye. Just a normal morning where he kissed me goodbye. Reminded Aiden about his science test. Promised Chloe he'd braid her hair that night. And then in nothing. I got the call at work. Collapsed at his desk. They said nothing anyone could do. The next 72 hours were a blur. Calling his parents, telling the children, making arrangements. All while Vanessa played the grieving ex-wife to anyone who'd listen. Despite having spent the last 3 years trying to destroy him, she showed up at our house the night before the funeral. I'll be taking the children now, she announced as. If they were packages to be collected, they want to stay here tonight, I said quietly. Their rooms are here. Their things. Their father is dead, she snapped. They need their mother. But Aiden and Chloe were already clinging to me, Chloe sobbing into my shirt. Aiden trying to be brave. They'd lived with us primarily for the last year. Ethan had won that battle at least. Please, Chloe whispered. Can't we stay with? Iris, Vanessa's face went cold. Fine. One night. But we'll be discussing permanent arrangements tomorrow. The funeral was beautiful. Ethan's co-workers spoke about his brilliance. His parents shared childhood stories. I talked about his kindness, his humor, his love for his children. Even Aiden and Chloe stood up, sharing memories that made everyone cry. Everyone except Vanessa, who spent the service texting with someone, probably her lawyer. She cornered me at the reception in front of Ethan's family and friends. We need to talk about the house, she hissed. Now, really, the children deserve stability. That house is their home. I'm taking it. You can't just. This house belongs to his children, she screamed, pulling out custody papers. I'm taking it for their future. The room went silent. Everyone stared. Vanessa had calculated this perfectly. Make a scene at the funeral where I couldn't fight back without looking heartless. But she'd miscalculated one thing. I'd been preparing for this moment since the day Ethan took out that life insurance policy. I reached into my purse and pulled out the envelope. Inside were 3 documents. The life insurance payout notification, the kids' trust fund statements, showing they were fully funded through college, and a copy of Ethan's will leaving the house to me. Speaking of futures, here's the life insurance payout notification. $2 million to the beneficiary. Me. The kids' trusts are already funded. You get nothing. She snatched the papers, reading frantically. Her face went from red to white to purple. This is fraud. He can't. The children. I'll contest this. Go ahead, I said calmly. Contest away. The trusts are ironclad. You can't touch them for anything except education and medical expenses. The house is mine. Free and clear. And the life insurance, perfectly legal. He could name anyone he wanted. You manipulated him. I loved him. There's a difference. You're not even their real mother. No, I agreed. But I'm the one who helps with homework. Who knows Aiden's allergic to strawberries, not peanuts, like you keep telling schools? Who can braid Chloe's hair the way she likes? Who never missed a school play or soccer game because I was too busy with my new boyfriend? How dare you? How dare I? What? Tell the truth. Fight for these kids. Refuse to let you destroy what's left of their stability. Ethan's mother stepped forward then. Eleanor Fitzgerald, 70 years old and tougher than nails. That's enough, Vanessa, she said quietly. You've made enough of a scene at my son's funeral. Elan, surely you understand. I understand that my son spent the last 3 years of his life fighting you in court. I understand that you tried to claim ownership of work he did after your divorce. I understand that you're here not to mourn, but to grab what you can. The children will be fine with Iris, Eleanor continued. As Ethan wished, as anyone with eyes can see, they prefer. Vanessa looked around the room, realizing she'd lost her audience. These people knew the truth. They'd watched Ethan struggle. They'd seen the court documents. The legal bills, the stress that probably contributed to his heart attack. This isn't over, she hissed at me. Actually, it is, I said. Your lawyer can contact mine, but fair warning, I now have $2 million to fight you with. Ethan made sure of that. She left, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the pictures on the wall. The room stayed silent for a moment before conversation slowly resumed. Aiden tugged on my sleeve. Does this mean we can stay with you? I knelt down to his level. What do you want? To stay, he said immediately. Mom's house, it's not home. This is home. Chloe nodded, still crying. Daddy said you'd take care of us if something happened. He promised. Then you'll stay. I said simply, we'll make it work. It wasn't that simple. Of course, Vanessa lawyered up immediately, demanding full custody and child support from Ethan's estate. But she hadn't counted on a few things. First, the guardian ad litem assigned to the case actually listened to the children. At 12 and 10, their preferences mattered, and they both chose to stay with me. Second, Ethan's meticulous record-keeping came back to haunt her. Every manipulative text, every false accusation, every time she'd used the children as weapons, all documented and submitted to the court. Third, the life insurance money meant I could match her lawyer for lawyer, motion for motion. For the first time, it was a fair fight. The final blow came from an unexpected source. Chad, Vanessa's boyfriend, had been promising to marry her once she got her fair share of Ethan's estate. When it became clear that share was zero, he disappeared, leaving Vanessa to pay her own legal bills. I can't afford to keep fighting, her lawyer told mine after 6 months. She's out of money and out of options. The custody arrangement was formalized. I became the children's legal guardian, with Vanessa getting supervised visitation every other weekend. Supervised because the judge was concerned about her pattern of attempting to alienate the children from their father's chosen guardian. It's not fair, Vanessa sobbed outside the courthouse. They're my children. They're Ethan's children too, I reminded her. And he made sure they'd be protected from everything, including you. That was 2 years ago. Aiden's 14 now, taller than me, brilliant like his father. He builds apps in his spare time and talks about men. Chloe is 12, finally stopped crying herself to sleep, and has discovered she's actually good at ballet when it's not being used as a weapon in her parents' war. We live in the same house, the one Vanessa tried to take. I've kept Ethan's office exactly as he left it, except for the coding books Aiden's added to the shelves. His picture sits on the mantle, surrounded by photos of the kids' accomplishments. He'll never see Vanessa still has her supervised visits, though the kids increasingly find excuses to skip them. I don't encourage it, but I don't force them either. They're old enough to know who fought for them and who fought for money. Do you think Dad knew? Aiden asked me recently. When he got the life insurance, did he know something might happen? I think your dad wanted to make sure you were protected no matter what, I said carefully. He loved you more than anything. He loved you too, Chloe added. He said you were the best thing that happened to us after the divorce. All of us. All of us. She confirmed. He said you made us a real family again. We are a real family. Not the one any of us planned, but real nonetheless. Built on love and loss. Protected by planning and paperwork. Held together by choice, rather than blood. Ethan's life insurance money is mostly untouched. Invested for the future. I returned to work after taking time off to help the kids adjust. We don't live extravagantly. We don't need to. We have what matters. Every year, on the anniversary of Ethan's death, we visit his grave together. Vanessa tried to come once with a photographer to document her grief. We chose a different day after that. Thank you, I whispered to his headstone while the kids arranged flowers, for trusting me, for protecting us, for making sure I could protect them. The wind rustles the leaves, and I choose to hear his answer. In it, take care of my babies. He'd said it in the hospital when Chloe was born. promised me no matter what happens with Vanessa, you'll take care of them. I kept that promise, with his help, even from beyond. $2 million. That's what he thought our future was worth. Enough to fight any battle, win any war, keep any promise. He was wrong. Of course, it was worth so much more. But the money helped. God, did it help? Especially that day at the funeral. When I got to hand Vanessa that envelope and watch her realize that all her schemes, all her manipulation, all her greed had led to exactly what she deserved: nothing. The house is full of laughter now. Aiden's coding competitions, Chloe's ballet recital, family dinners where we talk about our days and remember Ethan without the shadow of court battles. I love you, Iris, Chloe said last week, casual as breathing. I know you're not my real mom, but you're my real mom, you know? I know. Ethan knew too. That's why he made sure that when the worst happened, we'd be okay. More than okay. We'd be together. A real family. Protected by love and life insurance. Exactly as he planned.